Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about Ford stock. So Ford has declined about 10% since they reported earnings recently. And I figure why not go over the numbers and figure out if it's a buy right now, if there's good enough upside, if the dividend is good enough, and if things still make sense. So first of all, Ford has a PE of 17.7, and I will put that into perspective later, but that is reasonably high for a car company with gigantic revenues and probably not much room to grow. The dividend yield of 6.2% is pretty amazing. Can't find a lot of stocks that do much better than that, especially with a reasonable payout ratio. Ford's payout ratio is about 75-ish%, so certainly not great, but certainly also not terrible. So Ford has had their gross profit steadily decline over the past 4 years. It actually went from over 18 billion to 14.8 billion, so definitely not a good sign. Kind of follows net profit is on a steady decline. It's actually not terrible right now, but obviously something needs to change for that to, look better. And then cash flow is actually negative. So that's the full year numbers coming out in last January. And so with that, we have a lot of signs that point to please don't buy this. And the bottom line comes down to what they're going to do in the future and how well that's going to grow revenues in the long term. So recently they made an ad where an electric Ford F-150, I'm just going to call it that, I don't know if that's what it is, but it was a Ford pickup, was pulling like 1 million pounds of Ford pickups. So it seems like they're finally jumping on the train of electric vehicles, and obviously that could work out great. The Ford F-150 is a great brand, and I'm going to call it a brand because I don't think Ford is a brand at this point. They have the F-150 and they have miscellaneous other things. So I consider the F-150 the brand at this point, and everything else is just, kind of additional things. So if they actually do manage to produce a decent electric F-150 that people would want to buy, then I think that Ford can still be a good investment long term. If they don't, then I think they're just doomed to go bankrupt sooner or later and probably be bought out by some other car company. So the question is, dividend yield of 6.2% means that we need to hold the stock for about 15 years before they can go bankrupt and we just lose everything and, not make a loss on that. I really don't think that that's going to happen. I think that either they're going to be there in 15 years or they're going to go bankrupt within the next 5 to 10. They're definitely going to be here 4 or 5 years, but after that, if they don't have a decent electric vehicle, preferably the F-150, I don't think they're going to be around. So I'm probably going to not buy it at this point and see what they can come up with in the next few quarters or maybe next year or two and kind of decide from there. But Ford has been around a very long time, so I really don't think that they're going to go down quickly if they do go down. So I don't think it's that risky of an investment at $9.50 right now. So do what you will. Definitely looks pretty decent for a dividend stock. Definitely does not look good for a growth stock. And at this point, I really don't think it's a value stock. So if you're not a dividend investor, definitely stay away from Ford. if you are a dividend investor, there might still be better stocks out there. So that's it for Ford analysis today, and make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you like the video. I'm coming out with more videos every day before market open. I hope you have a successful day.